What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A10 Insider Podcast here on the Field of 68 Media Network. My name is Rob Dauster. We have reached the finals. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A10 Insider Podcast here on the Field of 68 Media Network. My name is Rob Dauster. We have reached NCAA tournament time. We have reached the end of the season. We now have a dual Atlantic 10 champion, the VCU Rams. They won the A10 regular season title. Frankly, they were the best and most consistent team in that conference throughout the year. They won the Atlantic 10 tournament title. They knocked off Dayton in the title game in the Barclays Center on Sunday afternoon to earn themselves an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. It looks like they probably needed that automatic bid, given that they ended up on the 12 seed line. Anytime that you see teams that win their conference championship seated below the playing game spot, it generally means that you needed that automatic bid to get into the tournament. So congratulations to VCU. Congratulations to Mike Rose. Congratulations to Ace Baldwin, who won the league's Player of the Year award and Defensive Player of the Year award. He is the leader. He is the heart. He is the toughness of that program. We're actually going to hear from him in just a little bit. He was able to catch up with Jeff Goodman in Albany before their first round game against St. Mary's. Real quick before we kind of dive into that interview, I just want to talk to a little bit this matchup, because I do think that people that are not as analytically inclined do not realize just how good of a season St. Mary's had this year. They did beat Gonzaga on February 4th. That was really their only big win of the season, but they have a win over Oral Roberts, who we all know is a very good team. They have a win over North Texas, who is a top 50 team by most metrics. They beat San Diego State on a neutral court. They have a bunch of solid wins in the WCC, which is a better league than I think people realize and people give it credit for this year. They are the number 12 team on KenPom. What they do is it's similar in a sense to what Virginia does. They run a different style of offense, but it's the same kind of a thing, right? They're going to play at a slow pace. They're going to play at a slow tempo. Their entire mindset is, we are going to take the air out of the ball. We are going to make this a possession by possession game. It's a pretty sharp contrast to what Gonzaga runs. They want to get up and down the floor. They want to get out in transition. They want to run the floor as much as they possibly can. That's not what St. Mary's does. What Randy Bennett is great at is finding point guards that understand how to run ball screens, finding ways to get them into actions where they have an advantage coming off of those screens, and then spacing the floor with shooters and letting his point guards make a decision. When he has guys like Jordan Ford, who was there the last couple of years, he's going to have someone that averages 22 points and a couple assists. Patty Mills, same kind of guy. When he has someone like a Mickey McConnell there, or someone like a Matthew Dellavedova, he's going to have point guards that average 15 and 6. This year, he's got a little bit of a combination of both. Logan Johnson is a very, very good lead guard, but Aiden Mahaney is the guy that has been getting a lot of the attention this year. He's a freshman. He's 6'3". He is going to be an absolute stud. I think down the road, there's a very real chance that he ends up being an NBA player and an NBA point guard for a lot of different reasons, not the least of which is the fact that he's got pretty good size and he is very good in ball screens. NBA coaches love guys that are able to operate in ball screens. But I think this is a pretty favorable matchup for VCU. The spread on this game is, the last I checked, it was 5. The spread on KenPom is 6. VCU is projected to lose 65-59. But I do think that this is a relatively favorable matchup for a couple of reasons. One, Aiden Mahaney is a freshman. Freshmen playing in a situation like the NCAA tournament have the tendency to get a little bit rattled. I do think that the skill set that Ace Baldwin has to be able to climb up in ball handlers and make them uncomfortable, the ability that VCU has to switch everything, to trap everything, to really get out and press, to take you out of what you want to run offensively, and force you to kind of play in an isolation setting. The way that they can kind of force turnovers against the team whose strength is not turning the ball over offensively, I think there's a lot of very interesting matchups here, and a lot of them that I think VCU should be able to, if things go well, be able to scheme an advantage out of. Now, the one thing that I will say is this: St. Mary's knows how to run offense. They know how to take the air of the ball, and they are also a very good defensive team. They don't give up offensive rebounds. They are exceptional at being able to run you off of the 3-point line, right? They just don't give up a lot of threes, and they force you to drive and put the ball on the floor and dribble into their help. Again, a lot of it is similar. They do it, they execute a different way than Virginia does. Like, Virginia wants you to take jump shots over the top. VCU, St. Mary's doesn't want you to take jump shots. A lot of what Virginia runs offensively is blocker mover, which means a lot of off-ball screening, whereas most of what St. Mary's does is on-ball screening. But the idea that they are going to really lock you down defensively, make you play a possession-by-possession game, and create opportunities for themselves to be able to run 20 seconds, 25 seconds off the clock to make you play at their pace. They're comfortable at that pace. If you aren't used to playing slow, it's not easy. It takes a lot of the rhythm and the air out of the game. And that is what they do great. And that is what makes them very difficult to deal with and to upset. So it's going to be a difficult matchup. I don't think it's one where, what's the best way to phrase it? There are a lot of 5 seeds that are scary this year, right? I think if you ended up with Duke in the first round of the NCAA tournament, that's a scary matchup, one that you don't necessarily want. I think if you ended up with Miami, with that backcourt and those guards, that's a 5 seed that's a little bit scary. I don't think that the St. Mary's matchup is one that VCU is necessarily, not to say that VCU would be scared of anybody, but like that's one where you look at that and you watch the tape and you say, look, you know what? I think we can win this game. And if you're Mike Rhodes, I would be pretty confident about being able to, at the very least, like play St. Mary's tough. They're going to give them a fight. They're going to take the fight. I mean, look, I don't have to tell VCU fans. I don't have to tell Atlantic 10 fans this. They ain't going to back down from anybody. So I feel I have VCU in my bracket. And I'll tell you this. If VCU ends up playing UConn in the second round of the NCAA tournament, not to get ahead, don't get excited, don't get ahead of yourself. But if VCU ends up playing UConn in the second round of the NCAA tournament, look at what former VCU head coach Shaka Smart just did, running a defense that is very similar to the one that Mike Rhodes runs. The way that you beat UConn is you climb up in their guards and don't let them run those elaborate sets. You climb up in their guards and take them out of what they want to do offensively. If you don't let UConn get stuff out of their schemes and out of their sets and out of their offense, which is what VCU does, they don't let you run stuff, you can beat them because they don't have guys. What's the best way to phrase it? They don't have dudes, right? They don't have guys that can go get you a bucket. They don't have people that are just going to beat you off the bounce. Their point guard, Tristan Newton, is a really good player, but he's not this explosive athlete that's going to be able to get by anybody. He's kind of like, he's got this old school throwback. I'm a little bit bigger than you. He kind of understands the deceleration. He's someone that Ace Baldwin can create a lot of problems for. So if I'm VCU and I'm Mike Rhodes and I'm a VCU fan, I'm sitting here looking at this draw and saying, hey, man, look, we didn't have the greatest season. We didn't have the greatest non-conference schedule. The Atlantic 10 was not the greatest it's ever been. But all things considered, we are in a position where if we get hot and we play well on back-to-back games, we got a shot to be playing on the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. And there is nothing more that you can ask out of an NCAA tournament draw than a chance to be playing in the second weekend. So we'll see what happens with Mike Rhodes. We'll see what happens with Ace Baldwin. We'll see what happens with the VCU Rams. What I know is this. We have this interview with Jeff Goodman, and one day, this man is going to figure out how to use a microphone when he is connecting it to his phone. Let's go to Jeff. Let's go to Ace. Let's go up to Albany. Today's episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball pick'em, where you can get a little extra sweat during March Madness and win real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, all you do is predict whether a player will go higher or lower on Underdog's projected totals, whether that's points, rebounds, whatever. For example, if you're like me and you think Zach Edey is going to go nuts in this tournament, pick higher on his points projection, add up to 4 more picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, and Underdog will match your deposit up to $100. Now is the time to get in on the madness. So remember, UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code FIELD.
All right, here with VCU star Ace Baldwin, and we got a big game coming up. You guys against St. Mary's. I want to go back, though, to the A-10 title game against Dayton and everything that was on the line in that one. Give me kind of your mentality and how you're thinking going into that game, because you know if you don't win that one, you're in the NIT, right?
Yeah, right. That's a main thing, was just like giving our all and players like it's our last.
Yeah. You know, when you guys were in the tournament 2 years ago and you didn't play, you were a freshman then, right? What was that experience like? Do you remember everything that went down and how difficult it was? And now I assume what this means, because you weren't able to play in that game.
Right. Yeah, it was real difficult because we just was just like stuck in the area. Like we just was like in a bubble. Yeah. So it was hard. And to find out the news that we couldn't play, it like broke our heart because we really wanted to play. And it was like a first experience for me because I ain't never been to the tournament before. So I say it really broke out my heart. And
you had dudes on that team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing is looking back on it. Right. You know, Bones, Vince, you. Like, that team was talented enough to win games.
Makes you want to run.
Right. You remember, I mean, like, when you found out that you guys weren't going to be able to play, do you remember the scene? Where were you?
Coach had pulled us out in the hallway, and he had let us know, and that's when we just was like...
Was it like tears?
Yeah, it was tears. I ain't want to say it, but really? Yeah, it was tears.
Really? I mean, I guess, like, it's what you work for all year. Now, again, you're a freshman, so it's a little bit different. Right. But for some of those older guys... It's what they had worked for, and to get it taken away had to be brutal. So how much more does this one mean for you right now?
It means a lot because just like my freshman year, I felt as though we could make a run and upset a lot of teams.
Why do you think you can do it this year?
I think we could do it this year because the players we had, we got depth, the way how our style of play, and we played tough for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Two different styles here. I mean, I don't know how much you've watched in St. Mary's yet. They're really good. Yeah, they're really well coached. I assume you haven't seen. I mean, maybe you watched them against Gonzaga.
Yeah, like,
did you watch them at all during the year when they play like Gonzaga? Are you a hoops nut that's just staying up late and watching those games, or no?
No, we definitely watch film on them though.
What do you think when you see them?
They're a pretty good team. They good offensively. They play throughout the whole shot clock, so we're gonna have to defend throughout the whole 30.
How hard do you think it is to play you guys when you've never seen your style before?
I think it's real hard because teams don't like pressure the ball like us, or they don't play 94 feet like us. So I think it's gonna be real difficult.
When I talked to Coach Rhodes early in the year, he said you're the toughest dude he's ever coached. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Baltimore kids are pretty tough. Like, I'll give you that. Baltimore kids are known to be tough. I mean, you've been through a lot of injuries, right? Take me through the wrist injury and how you played through it.
I hurt both of my wrists. So which one?
I think I don't remember, but I know he said you played through a wrist injury that there's no way most people are going to play through.
I think he talking about my right one. I had the Morgan State game. I had fractured it, like broken it, and I played through that. And it was real tough because the week after that we was we played in Brooklyn. I forgot the tournament. It was with Arizona State, Michigan. Yeah, Legend Classic. Yeah. It was real hard and it was frustrating because I couldn't play, and it was on a big stage, so it was hurtful.
What do you think the key is to this game? What do you guys have to do in order to win this game?
I think we just gotta play our style of game, heat the ball up, and just speed them up because they like to go slow.
Yeah, they do. They do. They got a good guard. You see the kid Aiden Mahaney?
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah.
What do you think of him?
I think he's a pretty good freshman, right?
Yeah.
He's a pretty good freshman, and he only a freshman, so he's pretty good. But like I said, they ain't never seen no defense like VCU. So
yeah, you guys are gonna come at him, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is it's hard to me to prepare for you guys when teams have never seen that, especially in the West Coast Conference.
Right. Exactly.
They don't have athleticism like you guys. They don't have teams that play the way you guys do. I assume that's gonna be interesting for them in terms of that first time teams play against you. They're not used to it. Give me your favorite Coach Rhodes story, because I know you guys have a really good relationship, a really good connection. Again, he has so much. I think he has so much kind of pride in what you bring to the table for this program and for this team.
Coach Rhodes' story, it's a lot. I'm thinking right now, it's a lot of Coach Rhodes' stories.
What sums him up? Even if maybe there's not a specific story, but maybe it's something about him that kind of would tell people what type of person and coach he is.
I want to say Coach Rhodes, it ain't all about basketball. That's exactly why I come in here. It's not all about basketball with Coach. Like, he looked into, like, in the future, like, he just not worrying about basketball. Like, if you don't make it in basketball, like, what you gonna do? Like, that's what type of guy Coach Rhodes is, and that's why I love him. That's why I came here.
So for you, what else you like to do other than play ball? You just play ball.
Yeah,
you just play ball. Yeah. Nothing else. You're a gym rat, right?
Yeah, I really am. Yeah.
I mean, I heard he's like, I got to kick him out of the gym sometimes. That you want to go that much and you want to practice. Is there something to be said for that? Sometimes you've learned over the years that you have to pull back a little bit?
I really ain't get to know that until Coach told me, so.
Do you do it now a little bit?
A little bit, just a little bit.
Got to pull you out of the gym at times?
Yeah, a little bit.
What's this experience like? I know you just got here, but even hearing your names called Selection Sunday, you knew it was going to be called.
Right.
But just what's this like to play in the NCAA tournament, especially, listen, this year, most people thought it was going to be Dayton or St. Louis coming out of the A10.
So that's exactly, a lot of teams don't make it here, so that's why it's a great experience. And we also can show what we could do, like, to the whole world.
Yeah. So, when you look at this, how much do you have to just focus on St. Mary's and not get ahead of yourselves? Has Coach talked to you a little bit about that?
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. One game at a time. Like, don't look over our next opponent. We just got to take it a game at a time.
For you personally, what do you need to do in this game? How much pressure are you putting on yourself to have a big game to win this?
I'm really not putting pressure on myself, but I know we have to win to make a run. So I just be me, lead the team, bring that energy, and I think we're gonna be fine.
You feel like this is like a good avenue for you to show the world who you are? Because again, you guys this year, the A10 probably wasn't quite as strong as people thought it was going to be. You feel like this is kind of an opportunity for you and for the team?
Yes, because I want to show that we really good, and I also want to show that we better than like Power 5 schools. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that, again, I don't think people understand how good the A10 is. Certainly, some teams had their issues earlier this year. Dayton, we know, was banged up for a lot of the year. St. Louis wasn't quite as good as we thought they'd be. How much were you thinking coming into the year that you could end up winning this league? Did it surprise you at all when you looked at it again? I assume it motivated you when you saw the preseason poll.
I want to say I was shocked that we was number 4. Like it caught me by surprise. So every game we had in the conference, I just had a chip on my shoulder. It didn't matter who we played. I just had a chip on my shoulder.
Is that you anyway?
Yeah.
Like I feel like, again, you were recruited by some high majors, right? But why did you choose VCU?
Like I said, VCU, it's like a brotherhood to me. It's home away from home, and I just love it here. Yeah. It fit me perfect.
What were the other options you had? Were most of the high majors like interested but never offered?
Some of them, but other schools I had was South Carolina, Maryland, Clemson, Seton Hall, and Georgetown in my top. So
a lot of guys would have picked the Power 5s.
Right, exactly.
So it was just more of fit for you?
Yeah, it was more like fit, and also like I said, coaches he bigger than basketball. Like it's just not basketball with him. Like so.
The relationship you have with him. What about some of the former players? And when I haven't been in a while to VCU, but I'll age myself here. The last time I was there was Brad Stevens against Shaka Smart, and it's one of the best games I've ever seen, and one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen. It's that good. For people that don't know, the fan support at VCU is out of control, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I said VCU. If you don't know, it's basically like a Power 5.
It totally is.
It's always sold out. The game's always sold out. We winning, so
resources,
exactly.
Pretty
resources,
good, right? I mean, you got everything you need.
Got everything we need, and everything just around the campus.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, a little game we'll play here about your teammates. All right, funniest guy on the team and show.
I'm gonna go with JJ.
All right. We'll go with best dancer in the team.
Best dancer. I'm gonna go Firm.
All right. Smartest guy on the team.
Me.
There you go. Look at this. I thought you were gonna answer, one of those first two. I thought it was gonna be you. Best shooter on the team.
Best shooter, Strive.
All right. Coaching wise. Toughest coach on the team. You better say Rhodes.
You got.
He knocked out his teeth and picked him up.
Coach is crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Coach.
That's probably why you guys get along so good.
Yeah,
you're both kind of tough, right? Yeah. Like he's a tough for a college basketball coach. I'll put him up against just about anybody out there.
Yeah, Coach crazy.
Right?
I'm gonna go with Coach. Yeah.
Any stories of that, of like his toughness that you've seen? Does he still jump in practice?
Yes, he coach. Yeah, he do all types of crazy stuff in practice. Like we'll do this one drill. Like he'll just go in and try to block our shot. Like he don't care if he get ducked or coach is crazy.
He's gonna get hurt again. He's gonna get hurt again. He's too old. He's too old for that now. All right. Well, listen, Ace Baldwin, VCU star. Prior to the big game against St. Mary's, appreciate you coming on the A10 Pod, Insider Pod, and good luck, my man.
I appreciate you. Thank you.